That's real subliminal. That little red light that says stereo, you know. You ride down there, I got stereo, I'm cool.
Everybody has one. If you buy a radio, it has FM now, so it's easy. You know, even if you buy a cheap car, you can get an FM radio.
Are more whites listening to you guys?
A great percentage, I think, of all of our stations have.
Bob got a lot of cousins.
A lot of uncles.
They are.
Probably at least, what, 10, 15%?
More so GCI than probably any other station, yeah.
So how does that impact your programming then? What do you do? Do you do anything differently?
In terms of...
If you have more white listeners, I mean, are you trying to reach a broader spectrum of people? All of you? Are you? Would you like to reach a large...
The largest share of the audience possible.
Now, if I could get 1.3 million of all the blacks, I'd be happy.
Yeah, you would.
That's all of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, we don't do anything to turn off any group of people.
Well, how do you do that now? I mean, how can you...
I guess you try to play it safe as much as possible.
Is that what you do?
Well, you got to use demos. It all depends if you...
What you're going at.
Right. You know, if you see that you have a chance of getting more teenagers than anybody else in the market, then you automatically set your programming to get teens. But all of these stations, we're just after people 12 plus. We just
anybody that has
the
ears.
programming and just let it go.
Really?
You know, it is not a. Tom pointed out the fact that in this market, FM does not really dominate this market like it does everywhere else. AM radio here is very, very powerful.
Well, that's right.
You know, because
it's the last market.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's the absolute last.
Yeah.
The people here, I've worked in a lot of markets, probably more than the other three gentlemen, and I find that the people here really love their radio, be it AM, FM, or CB. They love it. They're die-hard radio listeners. And
all day, do they listen?
If you're on AM and you got a good program, or they perceive you having a good program, then they listen to you.
Exactly.
Period.
How important is the image that you portray?
It's very important.
Not very much to Bob.
I'm accurately portraying my image on the radio. I mean, you know, hey, this is me, right?
So
you're seeing what you get every morning,
right here.
Are you
Completely honest?
Yeah.
Are you like this all the time?
Yeah.
You're crazy all the time?
Well, I mean, like any human
Except when
being,
you're asleep.
you know, I've got moods.
Yeah.
Really, I'm probably happier on the radio than I am
just walking around on the street.
Just walking around, yeah. Because it's, you know,
does it bother
performance.
you? Does it bother you that kids might imitate him? That black kids might imitate him?
No, it doesn't bother me. It's up to the parents. I mean, you know.
I just like, you know, when black people walk up to you and say, "Wow, Bob Wall, you're white." what do you say to that?
I do sound taller on the radio, don't I?
That's what you tell them?
No, it's not that big a secret from anybody anymore. I mean, I've been here 3 years now.
Yeah, but still your voice. And when you go places and sing and introduce this Bob Wall, and someone says, "Wow, you're white." What do you
No,
say?
more often I get the reaction, "Yeah, you sound just like you sound on the radio." Or when somebody who has tried for like a couple years to get me on the request line, fighting through the request line, finally gets me on the telephone, I get the reaction, "Wow, you sound just like you sound on the radio."
You've always been pretty honest about the fact that you're white, really, haven't you?
It was no advantage to hide it. You know, I wasn't trying to put anything over on anybody from the start, so I laid it right there on the table.
Do you feel that your management took a risk in hiring you?
I was a proven commodity. I had been successful in black radio before, and the man that hired me, I had worked with him before, so he knew, you know, that I was effective.
Okay, so if Bob Wall is a sign of the changing times, which of you is going to be morning man on a white station?
No, it don't change that way.
That's interesting.
See, don't,
yeah.
you know, it don't
I started
change
out
that
in
way.
white radio for 8 years, but I only got in no further than the all-night show.
Right,
so
exactly.
it's not balanced.
No.
It's not balanced at all.
As
I can count the black morning men and the 17 years that I've been in radio on one hand, nationally.
Why is that?
We could call it racism if we want to.
yeah,
you can figure it out.
Right out and call it that. So much more conservative. I mean, you can look at the huge following that I have. Obviously, beating a lot of white radio stations in town with a stick in the mornings.
Right.
But they would no more hire me. I mean, they'll go to Columbus, Ohio, and hire some guy that you never ever heard of,